Hey guys, so this is a quick video just to go over basic terminal navigation and folder structure and kind of how to find your files and folders on your computer using the terminal or the console. Okay, so we're in the console here. As we spoke about earlier, that this little tilde thing here means that we're in our home directory. Now, the one thing that you need to understand about the terminal is that the terminal is your Finder window, okay? Or on Windows Explorer, your Explorer window. It is the same thing. You just have more commands that you can do from the terminal than you can from the Finder or the Explorer window. Even though you do have some commands that you can do, like if, for instance, you right-click and you click duplicate, that makes a copy. You can make an alias. You could copy desktop. Things like that. So these are all things that we can kind of do from the terminal also, except the terminal has a lot more things or commands that we can run. You could also delete entire folders from here by just holding command and delete, or if you click holding, I believe it's the command button. Well, I never delete from here, and if I do, I use just command delete, but you get the picture. This is essentially this Finder or Explorer on Windows is essentially the same thing as this terminal window over here. It's just this has a graphical user interface and this doesn't. This is all text-based. So right now we are in my home folder, which is Yoan Ante. This Yoan Ante folder, this is just a shortcut to Yoan Ante when I click on this button here. Just like this is kind of a shortcut to that Yoan Ante. This folder is actually in my hard drive. I click on Macintosh over here. This is my hard drive. This is the contents of my entire hard drive. All right, these grayed out things are hidden files that you can't see. Okay, and then we have a users folder. In that users folder, we have other users. We have the user guest, shared, work, and Yoan Ante, which is me, which is the user that's logged in right now. So on the terminal, if I hit PWD, which stands for print working directory, you're going to see that it shows as users Yoan Ante. Okay, and that's just going to the hard drive, which is the root. Okay, and the root is denoted by just a slash. That means the first location of your hard drive. If you think of your hard drive as a tree, this would be the base of the tree, the trunk. And then all your folders would be branches, and then the folders and other leaves and other files inside of it would be your leaves of the tree. Okay, so this, if we want to navigate to our hard drive's root, we just do CD/. Okay, now we are in the root directory. So you're going to see right here we have all these things here. I'm going to do ls-a so that we can see all the folders or directories, whatever you want to call them, and all the files in there. And you're going to see that it should be essentially the same thing. So we've got applications, we've got library, and we've got library here and here. We've got network. Network is right here. Okay, it's grayed out, so that's a hidden folder. All these other ones are also in there. Document revision V100. It's just since they have a dot in front of them, they put them in alphabetical order over here, and that is, let's see, where's that? Document, right here. Document revisions -V100. So all those files and folders that we see in Finder are also in our terminal. So now from here, if we navigate over to CD/users/Yoan, I'm sorry, I missed an S. Yoan Ante, watch what's going to happen here. See this? We are in our home directory now, denoted by this shortcut tilde. So if we want to get there, we could either use the shortcut right here. This is Yoan Ante. Okay, and that takes us there. Or if we want to get to it straight from the hard drive, we go to Macintosh here, which is the hard drive's root directory. We go to users, and then we double click Yoan Ante. And it's the same exact thing. See, we're back up here again. Okay, now in here, we've got all these folders. Some of them came with the computer, others I've created, like this development folder here. Okay, so for our case in class, what I recommend is creating a folder just for the entire duration of the class where you're going to keep all your projects. Maybe you can break things down by week. things like that. So what we're going to do is in our home directory, we're going to create a folder and we're going to call it class. Okay, so now that class folder should be in here somewhere. It's probably at the bottom. Where'd it go? No, it's right here. Put it in the middle there for some crazy reason. So let's open that up. Okay, here we're still in the home, in the Yoanante's home directory, which is this directory right here. So we want to cd into class. Now we are in the class directory, okay, which is this one. If we wanted to make a folder for, let's say, week 1, in there we would do make dir week 1. Okay, and now we have a folder created instantaneously on this side called week 1. So hey, what happens if, oops, I accidentally closed my terminal window? Oh shoot, how do I get back to week 1? So let's open up a new terminal window. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can read. Okay, let me clear this up. That's just extra stuff that I like displaying when my terminal starts up. So how do we get back to this week 1? Well, remember, we were in our users directory. In Windows, it's similar. In Windows, your root directory is C. Root C, and then you have users, and then whatever your name is. So it's very similar. It's just a slightly different the way that it's displayed in Windows, but it's very similar. So to get back to week 1, look, we always end up in our home directory, but let's say we were in some crazy directory, like let's say we were in applications. How do we get to this class directory over here? Well, remember where we created it? We created it in our home directory, which is, we could either do cd /users /Yoanante to get into it, or we can just do cd tilde, or as we found out in class the other day, we could just do cd and enter, which is pretty cool. Okay, so either one of those 3 ways will get us to the same location. So from here, we're now in our home directory. We could display everything that's in there by doing ls. ls by itself doesn't show the hidden files, which is nice because class is not a hidden file. If we did ls-a, we're going to have a big list of things, which could be a little confusing, but sometimes you do need to look at the hidden files. So let's just do ls without the a. Okay, so now the next folder is class. So we do cd class. Okay, so now we're in the class directory, and then we do cd week 1. Okay, now that we're in week 1, that's the same thing as being in here. Let's say we wanted to create a directory in GitHub or a repository and then use it and then add it to that folder there. So what we would do, the easiest way would just be to go to github.com. Okay, and then over here you can go to new. Okay, if you are in your profiles, in your profile section instead, you're gonna have to click on repositories here, and then click on new. It's the same deal. Okay, so let's call this one, what was the thing that we did? First HTML, right? What's the one in class? Our first HTML project. Okay, we're gonna make it public. Then we're gonna initialize this repository with a README. So now we're gonna click create repository. Okay, and it's created. So now if we wanna get that repository into our week 1 folder or directory, or whatever we want to call it, you just click on clone or download. You got to make sure that we are in clone with SSH and not use HTTPS, because we won't be able to push later. Okay, HTTPS only allows you to download, to clone it. So click on use SSH. It says clone with SSH. We're gonna click this button here to copy it. Okay, now it's on our clipboard. Okay, and then over here in week 1, we're gonna do GCL. I'm sorry, that's a shortcut that I have. Git clone. I'll teach you guys about shortcut in a couple of weeks if you guys want to know how to create some aliases to shorten what you type. So it's git clone, and then we're gonna paste that in. Okay, now if we do ls, we're gonna see that in week 1, in the week 1 folder, we have a folder called first HTML. And if we go back to the Finder window, that's right here, we see that we are in week 1, first HTML. Okay, if we go back, remember we are in our home directory. Let's clean this up. Clean up by name. Here's class. So we're in the home directory, class, week 1, and then first HTML. First HTML got initialized with the README. Let's open first HTML by changing directory into it. Okay, now we are in first HTML. Okay, over here, we're going to do code dot, and that will open VS Code for most people. Some people, this might not work. Talk to me. We'll try to set it up. So you just do code dot, and it'll open everything that's inside the first HTML folder in your VS Code. Okay, so here we are. It opened it up. Here's the README. Let's make this a little bigger for you guys. Let's make the text a little bigger. Maybe that's too big. Let me hide this for you. So there's an error here, a typo. So first project, let's get rid of that. We saved it. So now we're going to do save. If we do git status, okay, remember, we're going to add this now. But first I want to show you what the different commands do. So git status shows us that there's been a file that was modified, which was the README, because we just made a change and we fixed that typo. So it says git status. So when you type in git status, it'll show you what needs to be staged for a commit. So then we're going to do git add -a. That would add all files in there and stage them and get them ready to be committed. So now that it's added, if we do git status, you're going to see that it says changes to be committed, and then it shows you modified readme.md. Okay, from here, we're going to do git push origin master, and GitHub already knows, or Git already knows, that this has to be pushed up to your, oh wait, I didn't do a git commit, I'm sorry. Git commit -m. Fix typo. If you ever get this error, everything up to date, you might not have committed it or added it. So just, and that's not even an error. You know, it could be that everything is already up to date. So just keep that in mind. All right, cool. So now we do git push origin master. It does its thing. Get smart enough to know which repo is supposed to go in because you cloned it down and it's your repo. Now this will only work if it's your repo. If you try doing this with somebody else's repo and try pushing, it's not going to let you. You could only clone somebody else's repo. Okay, so if we go here now, you see it still has a typo, but if we refresh the page, the typo is gone, our first HTML project. So let's create a couple of files, first.html and hello.html. Okay, so we created just 2 new files in our repository, first HTML. And if we go back to VS Code and we open this up right here, we're going to see that we have these 2 files in here. Oh, sorry. First and hello. Also, if we do ls, you're going to see them in there. README, which is the file that it originally started with, and the 2 that we just added, first HTML and hello HTML. So now, in first HTML, we're going to create a quick H2. Coding is awesome. Okay, we're going to save it. Okay, we come back over here. If we do git status, now you're going to see that there's 2 files that are ready to be staged. You got first and hello.html. Now we could stage these files individually, but the git add -a stages them both at the same time. Okay, so we're going to stage both of these and get them ready for a commit. Now if we do git status again, you're going to see that we have a new file and a new file, and these are changes that need to be committed. So we're going to do git commit -m, put our message, HTML stuff. Okay, and then you do git push. And now everything should be in your GitHub. If we're in here, all right, everything looks good. We have the first HTML that we just added all the stuff for. Coding is awesome. Okay, I'll load that HTML, which has nothing in it. But that's essentially the big whoop-de-doo of everything that we did as far as navigating through the terminal and kind of finding where your files and folders are located. And then with the GitHub, how to clone and how to make changes and then push those changes to your repository on GitHub. So I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, just shoot me a message or put it in the Ask the Class. And if I take a look at it before tomorrow, I'll be sure to try to answer any questions that you might have. All right, cool, awesome. And I'll see you guys mañana.